Pakistani government, the same government that we've given nearly $20 billion in aid to over the last 10 years. Meanwhile, we got this warning from Pakistan's Prime Minister Yusuf Gilani yesterday.
Let no one draw any wrong conclusions. Any attack against Pakistan's strategic assets, whether overt or covert, will find a matching response.
Gilani then tried to save face for his country by saying we shouldn't draw any, quote, wrong conclusions. Joining me now on how the U.S. should deal with Pakistan is Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, and Ahmed Rehab, executive director of the Chicago office of CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations. Dr. Jasser, please tell us about that. That sounded fairly, angry, insightful when the Pakistani foreign minister said, hey, if you come into our airspace, you may meet our helicopters.
Well, this is all, Eric, it's all posturing. They got their hand caught and slapped. They had within their confines, either they were complicit or they have absolutely no control over what's going on in their own borders, and now they're trying to make up for it by posturing. And I think we need to reassess exactly the formula we've been using, which is you're either our friend or our foe, and it's just a binary equation, and we realize that it's much more complicated. We may have common enemies with countries like Pakistan that we may work with in the short term, but in the long term, they're harboring ideologies of political Islam and ideologies that are actually threatening our society and our anti-Western, anti-liberal democracy, and will never be our allies. So we have to work to separate countries like Saudi Arabia that foster Wahhabism, but yet we may want to work with petroleum, etc. So we have to be careful to change the paradigm from friend and foe to a continuum of those ideologies that threaten us and those that may work with us with a common enemy.
Mr. Rehab, we're scheduled to give $3 billion in aid to Pakistan this coming year. What do you think? What does CAIR think we should do about that?
Well, I speak for myself. I'm not a fan of giving aid in the billions to any foreign nation, whether it's Pakistan or Egypt or Israel, who receives the largest amount of aid from the United States. I believe that we can have diplomatic relations based on mutual interests, and I believe that there is no country in the world that we need more than they need us. And so at the end of the day, I would have to say that Pakistan is neither a foe nor a friend in this war on terror. I think it's been helpful in some ways. There's stuff lacking, stuff to be desired still to happen in terms of the relationship, in terms of going after the terrorists.
Dr.
And that's what we need
Jasser,
to put pressure on.
I'm sorry, Dr. Jasser, what should our response be to the Pakistan government, knowing that Mr. bin Laden had been sitting under their nose for 5 years directly next to one of their military academies? What should we be saying to them?
Well, I think we need to reassess the relationship and say, you know, we're done throwing cash at you, but we're going to have deliverables. We're going to be involved in partnerships. If you look, the Bush administration developed Millennium Accounts for countries in Africa where we had pay-as-you-go criteria, where we said, you know what, there's going to be deliverables. I think it would be wrong to turn isolationist because those countries are already headed in the wrong direction towards Islamism, towards theocracy, which will create ideas that are against the West and continue to propagate conspiracy theories and a population that doesn't believe in working with us. So if we're going to work with them, we need to help them build institutions, work hand in hand through partnerships that are measurable.
Go ahead, sir.
As I listen to Zuhdi Jasser speak here, he's one of those far-right individuals who's trying to make this war against al-Qaeda into a larger
ideological war. How about you stick to the subject, Ahmed, and talk to substance?
That is the subject, Zuhdi, because that's exactly what you're trying to do here, and I have to call you out on it. And the fact is, you've been a sock puppet for the axis of Islamophobia in this country.
more personal attacks instead of substance,
Everybody
Ahmed.
Supports you, hates Islam for a reason. Look,
oh my gosh, this is wonderful.
Ahmed, you make the United States of America. We're not out to teach people how to live our lives. We're out to fight al-Qaeda and to apprehend terrorists.
Guys,
Mr. Rehab, hold on for a second. Go ahead, Zuhdi, respond, please.
There is nothing more pro-Islamic or pro-Muslim, Ahmed, than those that want to defeat theocracy. However, you and your associates that believe in theocracy want to push theocracy down the throat of Muslims all over the world through the Brotherhood movement and other aspects of political Islam. And you want to say that you represent...
Guys, we have to leave it here. Fellas, we have to leave it here. We're running out of time. We'll bring you back for another segment. Hang in there. Are we sending a mixed message? Just cut the mic off. Are we sending a mixed message when we